So today I am working on a custom wreath for one of my friends, and I wanted to show you step by step for the most part on what I do. And right now I'm just starting out with my natural grapevine, pulling it apart to really get my base the way I want it to be. And so I really just adjust where all the wood goes and gives it a nice sturdy base. And so to make sure it keeps that base, I use a brown wrapped wire. It's pretty thin, but it's very sturdy and it works very well as long as you wrap it, fairly consistent throughout the whole wreath. You don't want to make it too large in between gaps. And it just works well for me. I got it off Amazon. It was like 13 bucks, not name brand, you know. And right here, I start trimming the ends to make them have that shape that I want. The nice pointiest shape. And right here, I just want to make sure my wreath is, under 35 inches for their door. And right here is where I really start to decide the direction of the floral pattern I'll be using for the wreath. I never really pick out flowers until I make the base and I get a better feel of what's going to be good for the project. I have found a lot of things I like to use, but I would have to say E6000 glue really holds well for me, especially when I use silk flowers and fake greenery. And it even holds well with crystals. It has been my favorite thing I found to hold my crystals. You can really see where the wreath has taken on a personality of its own. And right here, you're going to see me adding clouds. I should have added them first 100%. It's a lot easier to work around the clouds than it is trying to add in clouds, working around delicate things. But I made it work. I use a lot of adhesive glue to make sure that the cotton stays where I want it to. And it really just keeps the form that is intended. And it's one of my favorite times to start adding the crystals. I use raw crystals in my projects, so I really just have to choose the crystals based on where I want crystals on in the wreath, what the base looks like of the crystal, all this other stuff, where I can fit it into. So lots of times I will, try it out before placing the glue on there. And if you see my little tool I like to use, it's a silicone tip, so I can easily spread around the glue without worrying about it sticking to anything. And you can't see it, but right now I'm working off screen, just on the tips, adding small little crystals and even little mushrooms to the tips of the crescent moon. Now you can see it right there. Yep, yep, yep. I really liked it, so I kept adding more, and I just didn't want to stop. I just love the crystal in so much with the little mushrooms. I think it's just adorable. Right here, I'm trying to plan out how I want the chains to look, how I want them to hang, and it really took me a minute to figure it out. At first, I really thought I was just going to have, 3 strings of chains hanging down with bells and the crescent moon charms. And this is where I started messing around with the chains a little bit and figuring out, I wanted to give it a drape look. And it really just accentuated the leaves that were hanging down more. The bells were brought to attention better. I really just like messing with stuff until I become happy with the look. It just because you add something does not mean you can't change it. Adding more crystal tips and mushrooms because I'm obsessed. And now we have the finished product where you can see the natural crystals throughout the wreath and just the way those lovely bells hang. I hope you guys enjoy it.